Hi, my name is Jake Rosewater. Today is June 28th, 2013, and I'm on my way to the airport, and so I guess this is the beginning of my trip. I flew down to an outdoor adventure camp a bit outside of Steamboat Springs, Colorado to begin my month-long journey working as a CIT, or counselor in training. Once at camp, we unpacked all of our stuff and began introducing ourselves to the campers as they arrived.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. We helped them organize their things and immediately let them get to know each other before they would depart for their various trips.
Candy canes and sugar plums and all that good stuff.
However, that night we would have to pack for our very own 2-week trip. Road trip! We drove down to Buena Vista to start off the month strong by setting up camp for the first time and refining some of our survival skills. This first 2-week trip would prepare us to work with younger campers. We went rafting the next day to build our team skills and began preparing for our first challenge, summiting Mount Elbert. We made preparations the night before, for we would have to get up very, very early. We woke up at 11:30 p.m. and packed up everything in complete darkness to embark on our sunrise hike of the tallest mountain in Colorado.
We have time.
Yep.
We had to move very fast because the sun would be up in about 6 hours. At an elevation of over 14,000 feet, the air became very thin, and it was hard to continue climbing, but in the end, we made it just in time for the sunrise. We're on top of Colorado! Now, we packed up all our food and supplies for our backpacking trip through the flat-top wilderness.
I'm gonna take all my clothes off. It's wet? Oh god.
Once on trail, we really began to bond, for it was just us and the mountains around us. We learned about important things like how to fully analyze a map to be as sure as possible of our surroundings.
Right here? Middle trailhead on the path.
We also learned how to deal with situations that could potentially be dangerous, such as river crossings, for example.
So there's water, there'll be water right there. Should be really.
We kept honing in on teamwork, because that is one of the most important things out in the wilderness. While hiking all day every day was challenging, we all found ourselves feeling great, and being surrounded by some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen definitely helped. Now, we were about to encounter another challenge that would definitely test us in a new way. The rocky bridge called Devil's Causeway.
Right now,
This narrow, naturally formed path had 1,000-foot drops on either side and required lots of patience, balance, and teamwork to cross. Luckily, we safely crossed over and continued on our journey.
Go ahead.
After a long day of hiking, being in camp was a time for us to relax and play games, with nothing to worry about except making dinner.
You pick like
Well,
this group we could pick one
and the
shark.
mosquitoes.
Oh my gosh.
can you see it?
You can see little dots moving, so I guess.
As our journey came to a close, I reflected on all the essential skills we had learned and would have to teach the younger campers. Some of these kids had never even been hiking before, so we had to make sure they understood even basic things like setting up a tent or staying on trail. I feel that I too learned about new and exciting things like cooking or orienteering that I didn't have as much experience with before, and in the end, these all contributed to a fantastic adventure that I will never forget. We all felt absolutely amazing after this trip, for all of this time spent completely outdoors allowed us to bond, become physically and mentally fit, and learn to appreciate the beauty of nature.
Right there.
As a transition between our trip and the kids' trips, we all learned a little bit about rock climbing and belaying, or keeping someone else safe as they climb, so that we would be able to teach the kids about it in a few days.
There we go. Tighten it up. Take it up a little bit more. So, a little bit more. Okay. All right, there you go.
The next day, a new set of campers arrived, and we immediately got to know them and headed out on our new trips.
Ryan
We started out by teaching them about the rock climbing skills we had just learned as an introduction to the outdoors.
You can just tuck those laces in there.
We began by showing them how it's done and then letting them try it. We packed up, taught the campers about the basic skills they would need for the first night, and headed out on the trail. As soon as we started hiking, I could already tell that this would be a fun trip and that the kids would love it. From what I could tell, our first group of campers had a fantastic time. They bonded extremely well, loved the feeling of living outside constantly surrounded by the mountains, and were enthusiastic about learning all about wilderness survival skills. They even wanted to help with the cooking. Of course, they still had lots to learn, but I definitely could see that they wanted to do it all again. Our second group of campers was even younger than the last, and while it was a bit harder to motivate them, sometimes, they too had a blast. It was incredible how they were able to speed up mountains, make great progress on trail, and always have high spirits when they were surrounded by nature. By the end of all of these trips, all of these campers were clearly happy and healthy as can be. We had a few fun programs in the last few days to let the older and younger campers bond and share all of their experiences. We had a Hollywood day where we let the kids dress up and create a movie and pretend they were famous, and a pirate day where they used their great teamwork skills to make us CITs boats for a race.
Yeah, he's working.
We are working. We don't have to pretend.
We're using him as a boat.
Can you move your arms?
We're gonna float in that river.
On the ground and see what I'm swimming.
Or lake. Whatever.
Bryce, you got this!
It was cold and rocky, but totally worth ending the campers' trip on such a spirited note. After it was all over, I asked my fellow CITs to talk a little bit about the experience and how they felt this time in nature affected them.
Being in nature really helped me concentrate more, like in daily life. So once I spent like a really long time in nature, you just get completely different in a good way. You start getting more friends, doing better at school, just in general. I mean, it makes you feel happier, and you can actually notice it. So it's really amazing.
In the wilderness, it makes you really enjoy life outside of it, really hone in on all the little things that you take for granted, and you just get to see how important every little bit of life is.
I feel like this month I found my voice as a leader, and I really grew to love the group that I was in and the kids that I was working with, and I just improved on everything I've been working towards. Yeah.
I mean, I feel physically like I am able to conquer any outdoors challenge. Like I feel like I could walk any trail, backpack any trip, carry any pack. I'm after this, but kind of emotionally it's like you form these bonds with the people that you're with that are just so crazy and strong, and all of it, it's like, I don't even know, it's impossible to explain. It's just these connections you make.
Reflecting back on this wonderful journey, I don't think I can name another time when I have felt more alive. I made incredibly close new friends, felt physically and mentally fantastic, and learned so much more about myself and those around me, as well as how simplistic and enjoyable life can be.